Welcome to the Belated Tech Channel's 72nd edition and second year of the Space and Tech Rewind. We are reviewing the milestones that occurred on each day in the week of October 25th through October 31st in space exploration, science, and technology. October 25th, 1955. The first consumer microwave oven was sold by the Tappan Stove Company on this date. The company was manufacturing the ovens under license from Raytheon, who had begun manufacturing commercial microwave ovens in 1947. Raytheon called their model the Radar Range, a brand still in use in 2021 by Whirlpool, who owns the trademark. Raytheon's commercial microwave ovens cost between $2,000 and $3,000. The ability of radio waves to heat food was discovered during the 1920s, after the invention of vacuum tube radio transmitters. Tappan's consumer version was a 220-volt, more compact wall unit, the size of a conventional oven, but with a less powerful microwave generating system. It had two cooking speeds, 500 or 800 watts, a stainless steel exterior, a glass shelf, a top browning element, and a recipe card drawer. However, at $1,300, sales never really took off. After Sharp successfully launched its own version in Japan, Raytheon purchased Amana Refrigeration in 1965 in order to manufacture its own consumer model, introducing the countertop Radar Range in 1967 for $495. That model was an overwhelming success, setting the stage for microwave ovens becoming a mandatory feature in every home. October 26, 1861. Only 2 days after the U.S. transcontinental telegraph line opened, the Pony Express ceased operations on this date. Despite its place in popular Americana, the Pony Express actually operated for only 18 months. Run by the Central Overland California and Pikes Peak Express Company, the Pony Express was of critical importance in a nation whose only way of communicating from coast to coast was A. Send mail by coach across the continent, often through hostile weather and lawless territory. B. Sail to Panama and bushwhack across the swampy and mosquito-infested isthmus. Or C. Sail a ship all the way down to the stormy tip of South America and up again. None of these dicey options took less than 6 months. The Pony Express made the toughest part of the crossing, from St. Joseph, Missouri to San Francisco, California, in just 10 days. The start of the Civil War in April of 1861 brought a new sense of urgency in solving this problem, and the railroad and telegraph companies were pressed by the Lincoln administration to make the necessary connections. 6 months later, the last wire was strung on the transcontinental telegraph, reducing message time to about an hour. With no reason for being, the Pony Express went quickly bankrupt. Want more transcontinental stories? We covered the first transcontinental phone call in Milestones 113. October 27, 1938. DuPont introduced its synthetic fiber yarn Nylon on this date. Nylon would be a generic term for all materials defined scientifically as, quote, synthetic fiber-forming polymeric amides having a protein-like chemical structure derivable from coal, air, and water or other substances, and characterized by the extreme toughness and strength and the peculiar ability to be formed into fibers and into various shapes, such as bristles and sheets. Hundreds of potential uses were envisioned by the company, including hosiery, fabrics, fishing lines, wrapping film, toothbrush bristles, and more. Nylon reached its apex of popularity in the 1970s, but has dramatically decreased since, maintaining dominance only in the carpet industry. Nylon resins are now mostly used to create molded parts, packaging, and extruded products such as nets and strings. As of 2021, the worldwide production of nylon is estimated at 9.4 million tons and valued at roughly $32 billion. Want to know how to navigate our channel content? We refer to tech documentary segments as episodes. Coverage of current events in space exploration, science, and technology are labeled as shorts. Space and tech history are documented in an anthology called Milestones. Gameplay recordings can be discovered on the Belated Tech gaming channel in videos called walkthroughs and side missions. Reviews of tools and equipment hail from the Tool Crib, and reviews of small electronics and appliances arrive by way of the Radio Shed. Looking for a specific video on our channel that we may have mentioned in one of our other videos? Links to those episodes can be found in the description section below. Also, we have begun labeling our video titles with numbers, such as M105 for Milestones 105 or S49 for Short 49, so viewers can perform a title search. Finally, you can peruse our entire 300+ video library by looking at our playlists, which conveniently sort videos by subject. October 28, 1960, the U.S. Air Force briefed NASA for the first time on its LUNEX lunar base program. On this date, the military branch's plans to operate a major facility on the moon have been in work since 1957, and they had originally slated 1967 as the year for the initial manned military flights to the lunar surface. The revelation came as a surprise to the newly created civilian space agency, whose efforts in manned space exploration under the Mercury program were still in their infancy. The Eisenhower administration had taken the mandate for manned space exploration from the U.S. military and handed it to NASA in 1958. But it still had taken 2 years for the U.S. Air Force to relinquish its manned exploration plans, and only after it was clear that the Truman administration was not going to reverse course. NASA was never able to establish a lunar base, even though it began landing astronauts on the moon starting in 1969. Funding dried up after the exotic nature of moon landings faded, and when it became clear that the Soviet Union lost interest in manned lunar exploration after the successful Apollo missions. After spending 30 years trying to field a low Earth orbit space shuttle fleet, NASA restarted its lunar ambitions in 2000 with the Constellation program, which was replaced by the Artemis program in 2009. As of the date of this video, NASA hopes to return to the moon by 2025. The Air Force, and by extension the Space Force, has not publicly commented on its contemporary lunar plans. October 29, 1998, U.S. astronaut John Glenn was launched into space aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery on this date. In 1962, at age 41, Glenn first made history as the first American to orbit the Earth, strapped into a 9-by-7-foot capsule. Now at age 77 and a U.S. Senator from Ohio, Glenn was a member of the STS-95 crew, serving as a payload specialist aboard the Discovery. Glenn carried out studies on the commonalities between the effects of spaceflight and aging. His microgravity research results relate to product-oriented commercial applications in such diverse fields as medical, agriculture, and manufacturing. The 9-day mission returned on November 7, 1998, after 134 Earth orbits, traveling 3.6 million miles in 213 hours and 44 minutes. His original flight had lasted about 5 hours. Senator Glenn died on December 8th of 2016. He was 95. We previously covered Glenn in Milestone 70. Have you agreed with our choices, or do you think there are other events in space and tech history that are better? Go ahead and share with us by dropping a comment below. If you have suggestions for a space and tech milestone, let us know. We'll credit events we pick for future videos to those viewers that post them. We hope you have been enjoying our content. Have we earned your subscription to our channel? If yes, and you have not taken the opportunity to subscribe, please take a moment to do so now and click the bell notification icon so you don't miss upcoming videos. We want to continue delivering great content to you. You can always unsubscribe, and subscribing is free. October 30th, 1894. Daniel Cooper of Rochester, New York received the first U.S. patent for a time clock on this date. Time cards were inserted into the machine. The time was recorded on specially printed cards divided by horizontal lines into 7 equal spaces for the days of the week. The time clock was used to record the time employees started and ended work. Known as the Rochester, the machine was manufactured by the Willard and Frick Manufacturing Company. International Business Machines, or IBM, got its start as a time clock manufacturer. In 1889, Willard Bundy invented a time clock to record a worker's arrival and departure time on paper tape. Bundy bought out Willard and Frick 11 years later. Bundy's outfit, called the International Time Recording Company, then merged with the Computing Scale Company, a dial recorder company, and an electric tabulating machine company on June 16, 1911, and renamed itself the Computer Tabulating Recording Company, or CTR. The five companies had 1,300 employees and offices and plants in Endicott and Birmingham, New York, Dayton, Ohio, Detroit, Michigan, Washington, D.C., and Toronto, Canada. On February 14, 1924, CTR changed its name to IBM. October 31, 1956. An airplane landed at the South Pole for the first time on this date, when U.S. Navy Admiral George Dufek stepped off the K. Sarah, an LC-47 transport plane. He was the first American to set foot on the South Pole, and the first person to do so since British naval captain Robert Scott on January 17, 1912. Scott and his party perished on the return trip from the pole. Dufek had come with an advance party to build the first permanent South Pole station. 84 flights later, the Navy had dropped over 700 tons of supplies at the South Pole. By March of 1957, the first phase of construction of the Edmondson Scott Station was completed. It continued to function year-round until January of 1975, when a new station was completed and occupied. On October 18, 2021, Salesforce.com board member and former U.S. Army General Colin Powell, who also served as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under President Reagan and U.S. Secretary of State under President George W. Bush, died. He was 84. Powell had been suffering from multiple myeloma, a type of blood cancer, and subsequently contracted COVID-19. He had been vaccinated. In his 35 years as a professional soldier, Powell served 2 combat tours in Vietnam and held many command and staff positions before retiring as a 4-star general. As Reagan's national security advisor, Powell notably helped negotiate treaties in cooperation with the Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev at the end of the Cold War. Powell joined Salesforce.com's board on March 14, 2014, and participated in one of the most explosive growths of a tech company in an 8-year period. The company's shares traded at $41 on the day he was named to the board. As of the date of this video, Salesforce.com shares were trading at $290, giving the company a $284 billion valuation. We hope you have enjoyed this 72nd episode of Belated Tech Space and Tech Rewind. If so, click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe or just stay in touch by following us on our microblogging accounts, which are listed below, as well as in the community feed for this channel. We announce all new videos on those outlets. Stay connected by occasionally checking our Instagram feed and Minds page, where we post content from our upcoming episodes and from episodes past that you may have missed, and where we cover current news and events related to channel content. Thanks for watching.